So, where's Romeo? He is going to run all over the place in the rest of this act. And we just get to see it all happen. So, first he runs to ask Friar Lawrence, hey, dude, will you marry Juliet and me? Because remember, Juliet and me equals us. Will you marry us? Will you marry her and me? And when he runs to Friar Lawrence, the dude is just out in his garden being a philosopher like he kind of is. And so, for those of you who love philosophy and thinking about good and evil, see if you can figure out what kinds of observations the friar and the pastor is making in Act 2, Scene 3.
Grey-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light, and flecked darkness like a drunkard reels from fourth day's bath at Titan's fiery wheels. Now, ere the sun advances, burning eye, the day to cheer, night's dank dew to dry, I must upfill this osier cage of ours with baleful weeds, precious juiced flowers. The earth, that's nature's mother, is her tomb. What is her burying grave? That is her womb. And from her womb, children of divers kind, we sucking on her natural bosom find. Many for many virtues excellent, none but for some, and yet all different. Oh, Mickle is the powerful grace that lies in plants, herbs, stones, and their true qualities. For naught so vile that on the earth doth live, but to the earth some special good doth give. Naught so good, but strained from that fair use, revolts from true birth, stumbling on abuse. Virtue itself turns vice, being misapplied, and vice sometimes by action dignified.
Isn't it true that good things, virtuous things, can be twisted and turned into a vice or a problem, a sin, if it's not used correctly, if it's misapplied? Some people, philosophically speaking, would say that there are no bad things in the world, and we can even take drugs like ibuprofen, Tylenol, alcohol, as an example, that in moderation, these things, when legal, can be okay and virtuous. But I think we've all known somebody who has become an addict because of these things, and yet there's also some things like a vice, a problem, like maybe even a lie, sometimes could be acceptable. For example, during World War II, when people were hiding Jews in order to save their lives, they had to lie to the SS officers. So I think that Shakespeare is a genius for writing this for his pastor. And I think it teaches us that our friar is wise. He likes to study things that can give us wisdom. And so he's going to try to be wise when he helps Romeo and Juliet as well. Play.
Within the infant rind of this weak flower, poison hath residence, and medicine power. For this being smelt, with that part cheers each part. Being tasted, slays all senses with the heart.
You're welcome.
Two such supposed kings encamp them still in man.
Good and evil.
Grace,
live in plants and people. Oh, that was like poetic.
Where the worser is predominant, full soon the canker death eats up that plant. Good morrow, father. A benedicite. What early tongue so sweet saluteth me? Young son, it argues a distempered head so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Care keeps his watch in every old man's eye, and where care lodges, sleep will never lie. But where unbruised youth with unstuffed brain doth couch his limbs, there golden sleep doth reign. Therefore thy earliness doth me assure thou art uproused with some distemperature. Or if not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight.
That last is true. The sweeter rest was mine.
God pardon sin. Was thou with Rosaline?
With Rosaline, my ghostly father? No, I have forgot that name, and that name's woe.
Oh, that's my good son. But where hast thou been then?
I'll tell thee ere thou ask it me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy.
Literally with Juliet.
One hath wounded me that's by me wounded. Both our remedies within thy help and holy physic lies. I bear no hatred, blessed man, for lo, my intercession likewise steads my foe.
Be plain, good son, and homely in thy drift. Riddling confession finds but riddling shrift.
Then plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine, and all combined, save what thou must combine by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed and made exchange of vow. I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy Saint Francis!
We don't say that.
What a change is here! Is Rosaline, that thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes. Jesu Maria, what a deed of bride hath washed thy sallow cheeks for Rosaline!
You were just crying for her.
Salt water thrown away, waste to season love, that of it doth not taste. The sun not yet thy sighs from heaven clears. Thy old groans ring yet in mine ancient ears. Lo, here upon thy cheek the stain doth sit of an old tear that is not washed off yet. If e'er thou wast thyself, and these woes thine, thou and these woes were all for Rosaline, and art thou changed? Pronounce this sentence then: women may fall when there's no strength in men.
And that's the
truth. For loving Rosaline,
for doting, not for loving, pupil mine.
He's like, man, I was chiding you, I was getting after you because you were obsessing about this girl, not because you liked her. And so, yeah.
Badst me bury love.
Not in the grave to lay one in, another out to have.
I pray thee, child,
not a substitution.
She whom I love now doth grace for grace and love for love allow. The other did not so.
Oh, she knew well I loved to read by rote, that could not spell. But come, young waverer, come go with me. In one respect I'll thy assistant be, for this alliance may so happy prove to turn your household's rancor to pure love.
Oh, let us hence. I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow. They stumble, they run fast.
We'll make fun of him for tripping in both of the movies. It's fun. What does this part that's highlighted mean? For this alliance may so happily prove to turn your household's rancor to pure love. By the way, when they were rhyming, they would have said prove and love, and people would have gotten it. It wouldn't have sounded like prove and love. You got to be British if you want to rhyme like Shakespeare. So, the one thing that he hopes can happen if they're married. Think about how these teenagers come from a Catholic family. Both of them do. And so if they get married, would their families allow for divorce? So it would have been a permanent connection for them. And the families just would have had to have gotten used to it. Okay, next we have scene 4. Oh boy. Okay, this is the scene of jokey jokes. And if you really want to get into it to see how funny they are, you can spend some more time at this website. Again, Google SparkNotes or No Fear, Romeo and Juliet. And we are on page 104 already. And so, okay, I'll explain a few of them, but not all of them because it's so many. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, so Benvolio and Mercutio, they are hanging out in town. It is hot now. It is really, really toasty, but it's still the morning on Monday, and the party was Sunday night, and all they know is that Romeo left them, and so they're annoyed. Also, they are going to learn that Tybalt is mad at Romeo, but Romeo has no idea. And what do we call it when we know something he don't know? We call it dramatic irony.
Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came in at home tonight.
Well, not to his father's. I spoke with his man.
Why, that same pale, hard-hearted wench, that Rosaline, torments him so that he will sure run mad.
Not Rosaline.
The kinsman to old Capulet hath sent a letter to his father's house.
A challenge on my life.
Romeo
right.
will answer it.
Any man that can write me answer a letter.
Nay, he will answer the letter's master, how he dares, being dared.
Oh, alas, poor Romeo.
Sword fight.
He is already dead, stabbed with a white wench's black eye, run through the ear with a love song, the very pin of his heart cleft with a blind bow-boy's butt shaft. And is he a man to encounter Tybalt?
Oh, why? What is Tybalt?
More than Prince of Cats, I can tell you. Oh, he's a courageous captain
A
of
fighter.
compliments. He fights
Famous
as you
for
sing
being a
quick
fighter.
Song, keeps time, distance, and proportion. He rests his men in rest. 1, 2, and the third in your bosom. The very butcher of a silk button, a duellist, a gentleman of the very first house of the first and second cause. Ah, the immortal passado, the punto reverso, the high. The pox of such antic, lisping, affecting fantasticals, these new tuners of accent. By Jizzle, a very good blade, a very tall man, a very good...
They hated the
Why
French.
is not this a lamentable thing, grandson?
They hated French fashion.
Strange flies.
They're Italians. They hated the French.
Pardon me, who stand so much on the new form that they cannot sit at ease on the old bench. Oh, they're bones.
Well, here comes Romeo. Here comes Romeo.
Without his roe, like a dried herring. Oh, flesh! How art thou fishified? Now is he for the numbers that Petrarch flowed in. Laura, to his lady, was a kitchen wench. Mary, she had a better love to be rhymer. Dido a dowdy, Cleopatra a gypsy, Helen and Hero, Hildings and harlots, Thisbe a grey eye or so, but not to the purpose. Signor Romeo, bonjour. There's a French salutation to your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, sir. The
You slipped away from us.
Pardon. Good. Mercutio and Benvolio was great, and in such a case as mine, a man may strain courtesy.
That's as much to say such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the ham.
Maybe to courtesy.
That was most kindly.
A most courteous exposition.
Yes.
I am the very pinch of courtesy.
That's-
For flower?
Right.
You can look that one
is
up.
my pump well flowered.
Sure, wit. Follow me this chest now till thou hast worn out thy pump. That when the single soul of it is worn, the jest may remain after the wearing. Singular.
Oh, single soldier, solely singular for the single.
Alliteration.
Benvolio, my wits fade.
Swits and spurs, or I'll cry a match.
Nay, if our wits run the wild goose chase, I am done. For thou hast more
Right.
of the wild goose in
Wild
one of thy
goose.
wits than I am sure I have in my whole five. Was I with you there, Fergus?
That was never with me for anything.
Goose
I was
chase.
not there for the goose.
I will bite thee by the ear for that
Bite
chase.
you.
Nay, good goose, bite not.
Thy wit is a very bitter sweetie. It is a most sharp sauce.
Oh.
Is it not then well served into a sweet goose?
Oh, here's a wit of Cheveril that stretches from an inch narrow to an ell broad.
I stretch it out for that word broad, which added to the goose proves thee far and wide a broad goose.
Why, is not this better now than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable. Now art thou Romeo. Now art thou what thou art, by art as well as by nature. For this drivelling love is like a great natural that runs lolling up and down to hide his bauble in a hole.
Oh, stop there. Stop there.
I will stop there as well. This is naughty. Da, 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 da. Okay, so perhaps we can relate to this. Mercutio and Benvolio are ticked because Romeo ditched them to go hang out with a girl. Has that ever happened to you? Or vice versa? Or are you the person who ditches your friends to go hang out with somebody else? I think that we can agree that there are a lot of strong feelings when this happens. And so I'm going to ask you to write about it and to tell me about it. Have you been on one side of the fence or the other? Is it possible to balance friendship and romantic relationships? I don't know. I still don't know, and I'm 35. All right, so now we're going to have more naughty jokes. Again, more. Okay.
Desirous me to stop in my tail against the hair.
Thou would else have made thy tail large.
Ah, thou art deceived. I would have made it short, for I was come to the whole depth of my tail, and meant indeed to occupy the argument no longer.
Peter! His goodly gear.
A sail.
Two, a shirt and a smock.
Peter?
Okay, so to say assail, ASSAIL, would be to say greetings, greetings. But when he calls her a sail, it's a fat joke saying that she's as large as a sail on a ship. And if you think about the fabric, like we watched in the movie, their fabric is huge, and then she would have had like a hat thing that's attached to more fabric, and you'll see in the movie that she kind of does look like a sail on a ship, and it's not very nice. It's kind of funny, but it's not very nice. Naughty.
My fan, Peter.
Good Peter to hide her face, for her fan's the fairer face.
Aw.
God ye good morrow, gentlemen.
God ye good dame, fair gentle woman.
Evening.
Good day.
Evening.
'Tis no less, I tell you, for the bawdy hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon.
Out upon you, what a man are you?
One gentlewoman that God hath made for himself to mar.
By my troth, it is well said. For himself to mar, quotha. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo?
I can tell you, that young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name, for fault of a worse.
You say well.
Yeah, he's the worst. Well, very well took, i' faith. Wisely.
If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you.
Should be
Said the
entitled to
wrong
some
word.
supper.
Aboard! So, what hast thou found? No hair, sir, unless a hair, sir, in a Lenten pie. That is something stale and whore ere it be spent. An old hair whore and an old hair whore is very good meat in Lenta. But a hair that is whore is too much for a school. When it holds ere it be spent. Romeo, will you come to your father's? We'll to dinner thither.
I will follow you.
Farewell, ancient lady. Farewell, lady, Benvolio.
I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his ropery?
A gentleman, nurse, that loves to hear himself talk, and will speak more in a minute than he will stand to in a month.
And speak anything against me, I'll
Funny.
take him down. And were lustier than he is, and 20 such jacks. And if I cannot, I'll find those that shall. Scary knave. I'm none of his flirt gills. I'm none of his skeins mates. And thou must stand by too, and suffer every knave to use me at his pleasure.
I see no man use you at his pleasure. If I had my weapon, should quickly have been out. I warrant you I dare draw as soon as another man if I see occasion in a good quarrel, and the law on my side.
God, I'm so vexed at every part about me quivers. Scurvy knave.
Scurvy, like the disease when their teeth are rotted.
And as I told you,
Lack of vitamin C.
bid me inquire you out. What she bid me say, I will keep to myself. But first, let me tell ye, if ye should lead her into a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behaviour, as they say. For the gentlewoman is young, and therefore, if you should deal double with her, truly, it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Don't you mess with her.
Commend me to thy lady and mistress. I protest unto thee.
Good heart and if faith,
In face.
I will tell her
Stole
as
the
much,
N.
Lord, Lord, show me a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her, nurse? That does not mark me.
I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take it, is a gentlemanlike offer.
Oops.
Bid her devise some means to come to Shrift this afternoon, and there she shall
Confession.
at Friar Lawrence cell be strived and married. Here is for thy pains.
Oh, is there not a penny?
Go to, I say you shall.
This afternoon, sir. Well, she shall be there.
And say, good nurse, behind the abbey wall, within this hour my man shall be with thee, and bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, which to the high top gallant of my joy must be my convoy in the secret night.
So what is going to be delivered to the house so that he can get up to Juliet's bedroom?
Farewell, be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell, commend me to thy mistress.
Now, God in heaven bless thee. Hark you, sir.
What sayest thou, my dear nurse?
Is your man secret? Did you nay hear say, two may keep counsel, put in one away?
Warrant thee, my man's as true as steel.
Oh, well, sir, my mistress is the sweetest lady, Lord, Lord. When 'twas a little prating thing. Oh, there is a nobleman in town, one Paris, that would fain lay knife aboard, but she, good soul, and as lief see a toad, a very toad, as see him. I anger her sometimes and tell her that Paris is the properer man, but I'll warrant you when I say so.
Romeo has no idea that Paris wants to marry Juliet.
Does not Rosemary and Romeo begin both with a letter?
Aye, nurse, what of that? Both with an R.
Oh, mocker, that's the dog's name. Arris for the... no, I know it begins with some other letter. And she had the prettiest sentences of it, of you and Rosemary, that it would do you good to hear it.
Commend me to thy lady.
Aye, 1,000 times. Peter! Peter, take my fan, and go before and apace. The clock struck.
I think we'll pause here and start a new little video, which is Juliet hearing from the nurse. And so we'll just pause and start a new one.